This Pioneer Field Agronomist Scott Eversgerd with this week's weekly agronomy message. Got a few calls last week as growers had a chance to start shelling some corn about overall test weights maybe being a little lower than normal. I think there's a couple reasons we're looking at as probably the cause of that. Number one are foliar diseases. So as we look at northern corn leaf blight, gray leaf spot, a lot of those diseases came in pretty late this year, probably later than what they would normally come in. So even in fields that we saw that had fungicide applications, we still found some fairly heavy pressure later in the season as the diseases came in late. Now, as they came in late, they had a bigger effect on grain fill and consequently test weight than they did coming in early and have an effect on actual ear size. The third foliar disease we saw come in pretty heavy, pretty late, of course, was southern rust. So if you've been in a cornfield lately and you come out with a rust-colored shirt, obviously there's a lot of rust out there in the cornfields. Same thing happened here. The rust came in late, did not really have a truly effect on kernel counts. We do think there has been some pretty significant effect in places on kernel density or test weight. Another reason was as we look back at nitrogen. Again, 37% of a corn plant's nitrogen consumption happens after pollination. Of course, after pollination, a lot of what's going on is grain fill. So any fields that showed a lot of nitrogen stress obviously may have been shorted for nitrogen coming into the grain fill period. And then, of course, the last one is solar radiation. As we look back at the growing season in 2015 on the corn crop especially, we really ran much below about a 10-year average on solar radiation or our light intensity. Again, if that plant's not able to capture enough light while that's trying to fill those kernels, we're going to see reduced kernel weights and reduced density in those products. Now, we had a couple storms come through into last week in a couple areas, and we saw the effects of what this corn crop can do when the wind actually blows pretty hard. So for all the reasons we just talked about test weight, the stalk quality out in these fields is really a lot of the same going on. So this isn't a corn crop that's going to stand there forever. So please, if you had a chance, go out there and look at it, get in the fields, take a look, and probably start harvest here as quickly as you're comfortable with the grain moisture. Last thing on beans, seen several diseases come into the beans. SDS continues to come through a little bit. Still seeing Cercospora come through. Even see a few splitting pods here and there. So again, even though some beans are turning and some beans will likely be cut this week, some early group 3s here in Illinois, southern Illinois, probably not, still a little bit going on out there in the bean fields. And then last but not least, from a safety standpoint, I know it's been 10 months since a lot of us have been on the road with a lot of harvest equipment, especially combines, wide headers, things like that. Please be careful and take that extra couple minutes to pull over or let somebody pass, and I think hopefully we'll all return safe. I already got one report of a grower who broke his shoulder as he fell off of a combine last week as he was cleaning the windows. So there's a lot of dangers out there, so take the extra 10 seconds and stay safe. As always, if you got any questions, please contact your Pioneer sales rep. Thanks.